What's your favorite Mario game? What's your favorite 3D platformer? What's your favorite Nintendo Switch game? Odds are Super Mario Odyssey might be your answer to at least one of those questions. If not, well, I guess what's your favorite 3D Mario game for the Nintendo Switch that also features a sentient hat with exactly 17 unique kingdoms and a file size between 5.6 and 5.8 gigabytes? Yeah, that's what I thought. Super Mario Odyssey is 2017's smash hit that somehow to this day is still getting played by some people for the first time. I would know. I am some people. I recently beat the game for the very first time in February 2024, and I can sum my experience up in just 4 words. It do. Be good. Jokes aside, the standard for mainline Mario games is unbelievably high. There's a pressure to appeal or cater to longtime fans of the franchise, as well as attract new players with new mechanics, while also juggling the whole topic of difficulty. When you also then consider the fact that this game is nearly a decade old, it would not be unreasonable to expect some amount of lost luster. Games age. Super Mario Odyssey is no different. But with all that being said, it didn't take long for me to realize that Odyssey not only meets the standard for mainline Mario games, but exceeds it. Instead of aging like a mayonnaise and cream cheese sandwich left in the car, it aged like, well, a Mario game. The first thing that stood out to me was just how impressive it was visually. Right from the onset, the renders were crisp and the colors were perfectly oversaturated. A princess abduction has never been so aesthetically pleasing. However, it wasn't until the game actually got going that I really came to understand just how good it was. Mario, he's no stranger to transformations, and that remains true in this game. But the implementation of Cappy, utilizing your hat friend to infiltrate the feeble minds of your enemies, twisting and warping their very thoughts and personalities in an effort to conform them and their actions to your very bid and whim, was pretty cool. The game's expansive slate of locations, otherwise known as kingdoms, were rife with enemies to capture and control. Over 4 dozen such opportunities present themselves, with some perhaps more versatile than others. As you throw your hat at everything with a pulse, you move through an array of kingdoms. Much like most kingdoms, you have a water level, a Bowser level, a lava level, and tons of other ones boasting their own unique sense of personality and spirit. Being a platformer, an astounding amount of care was placed into each world's design, and your versatile moveset enables you to tackle obstacles in many unique ways. Beyond that, Mario Odyssey was sure to include one thing in particular that I really appreciate in a 3D Mario game: bosses. You see, I grew up throwing King Koopa by his tail, and to say that that had a huge impression on me would be an understatement. As such, the inclusion of boss enemies in Mario Odyssey is something that I consider particularly important. There's just over a dozen of them, and they each require a unique approach to slay. What's more, their diversity manifests itself not only in terms of their battle style, but their very soul as video game enemies. I mean, some barely look like they belong in a Mario game at all, while others carry a long legacy as the most recent iteration of a long lineage. Now, whether or not you're the completionist type or a casual player, the game is accommodating and accessible. The ultimate goal, as is the case with every Mario game, is to save the princess and accumulate X. X, of course, in this game are known as power moons. Specifically, you need 124 of them to beat the game by rescuing Princess Peach, and if the adventure ended there, I suppose that could have been fine. However, the game goes above and beyond with a robust post-game that's equally parts fun and maybe some small teensy-weensy bit frustrating. I'll have you know, I decided to take on this challenge and I only sprouted 17 gray hairs. In summation, Mario Odyssey is quintessential Mario. It does all the things you expect and desire from a 3D Mario while also carrying on the very Nintendo spirit of innovation and change that makes the mustachioed plumber's 20th mainline adventure feel no less exciting and fresh than his priors. Now, I don't know that Super Mario Odyssey is my favorite Switch game. I don't know that it's my favorite Mario game. But what I do know is that Super Mario Odyssey is a great game. And if you're like me and slept on this classic, then I encourage you to slither on down to your local game store and get you a copy. Better late than never, right?
Every journey starts a new romance. A new world's calling out to you. Take a turn off the path